Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amirul Aziz Muhammad Aswan, and my number of matric is 2021107657. So this is my video for my mini project ECG263. So for the experiment, we will conduct three different types of experiment. The first one is particle density. The second one is Atable limit, Casagrande, and the third one is Proctor test. So for the background study, based on the problematic soil such as weak soil with low strength and high compressibility may cause problem to certain construction or any earthwork. Hence, some alteration is necessary to enhance the soil physical properties. One of ways to improve the soil stability and increase its shear strength is known as soil stabilization. Soil stabilization is a technique in which a material such as POFA is added to natural soil to improve soil engineering performance. To perform the soil stabilization experiment, will conduct three experiment will conduct to get data using 10% POFA additive. So for the particle density, uh, a density bottle is any bottle with a defined volume that can be weighed both empty and full of the liquid whose density you want to determine. For the objective, the density bottle is important because it allows us to determine which substance will float and which will sink in a fluid. Substance float in general if their density is less than density of the fluid in which they are placed. So the apparatus for this experiment is density bottle with stopper having capillary hole at its center, wash bottle, the air distilled water, the balance or weight balance, vacuum set, constant temperature water bath. So this is the picture of the apparatus that we use. So this is the table particle density without POFA or without additive, and we can determine the particle density from the table. So this is the the table particle density with POFA or with additive. So the second experiment is atomic limit Casagrande. The atomic limit test is a type of classification test that is used to determine the moisture content at which fine grain, clay, and silt soil transition between phases. The test for atomic limit is performed on the fraction of the soil that will pass through an ASTM D4318000 number 40 425 meter or 0.25 mm sieve. The test aids is the classification of soil and its specificity characteristic as well as the evaluation of near surface soil, shrink or swell potential. It can be used to differentiate between the silt and clay and to calculate the shrinkage limit SL, plastic limit PL, and liquid limit LL of a soil sample. So for the apparatus that we use in atomic limit Casagrande is Casagrande liquid limit device, grooving tool, spatula and palette knife, moisture cans, wash bottle containing distilled water, weight balance, glass plate, and drying oven. So this is the picture of the experiment we conduct. So uh, this is the table Casagrande test without POFA. So we can see the water content or moisture content. Also, we can determine the number of drop. Uh, So this is the table Casagrande test with POFA or Casagrande test with additive. So the third one is the proto test. For the proto test, the proto compaction test is a geotechnical laboratory testing method used to determine soil compaction properties, specifically the optimal water content at which soil can achieve its maximum dry density. The objective for proto test is the primary goals of the proto test are to increase shear strength and thus bearing capacity, increase stiffness to reduce future settlement, reduce void ratio and thus permeability, lowering the possibility of frost heave. So the apparatus for proto test is standard proto mold, uh, 1000 ml volume with rammer of weight 2.5 kg and roping height is 300 mm. Another accessory, protos needles if available, 20 mm and 37.5 mm sieve. Mixing equipment, steel straight edge, balance, airtight container, measuring cylinder, sample extruder. So this is the picture when the experiment were conducted. So for the proto test, we can get the table of bulk density proto test. Uh, for this table is proto test without POFA, and we can determine the bulk density from the mass of compacted soil and divide with volume of mold. So the second table is the table of moisture content, proto test, also without POFA. We can determine the moisture content and dry density. We can determine the dry density by divide the bulk density with 1 plus moisture content. So the third table is the table of bulk density proto test with POFA or with additive POFA. So as you can see, we can determine the bulk density from the table, and also we can get the dry density and moisture content from the table moisture content proto test with POFA or with additive. So for discussion, we can compare each experiment that has been conducted in this experiment. All three experiments demonstrate that the POFA substance is incompatible with use as an additive. The result of the particle density test without the additive reveal that density is a basic physical property of homogeneous substance. It is an intensive property, which means it depends only on the composition of the substance and does not vary with size or amount. We also added POFA to compare the density and particle density of the soil. As a result, the particle density for soil with POFA is less dense than the density for soil without POFA. The liquid and plastic limit of soil are referred to as the attribute limit. Internationally, these two limits are used for soil identification, classification, and strength correlation. When POFA minerals are present in fine grained soil, the soil can be removed without grumbling in the presence of moisture. In addition, we compare the soil plastic and liquid limit. The proto compaction test is a geotechnical laboratory test procedure used to evaluate soil compaction characteristic, specifically the ideal water content at which soil can achieve its maximum dry density. In this experiment, I also added POFA to see if the soil could achieve the maximum dry density without or with POFA. We can see the outcome is better than without POFA. So for the conclusion, based on the findings, the prepared POFA as source material was unsuccessful in enhance the properties of soil. However, the geotechnical properties of soil treated using POFA based on the percentage of the material. The result of the experiment demonstrate that the maximum strength was accomplished by the experiment compared to the result of the soil without POFA additive. The POFA additive will decrease the strength of the cohesion of the soil. Apart from the poor outcomes shown by the current research, the application of POFA make the soil decrease the moisture of the soil. That's it for my video, and thank you. Assalamualaikum.